Yo, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Episode 101 of the Casual Weebs podcast. What an insane week. Like, genuinely fucking insane. We had a lot of season finales, especially Hell's Paradise and Said This to Be a Hero. Those are the two we're going to be talking about today. We are going to be doing a video for its own thing for JJK. Because, my God, was that the season finale? Was that the season finale? Absolutely
So good.
insane. The animation was peak, the fights were amazing, and what an ending. Truly, we need the next season now, or the next part to the season. But I'm super stoked to talk about Hell's Paradise and also Set Us to Be a Hero, especially because last week, I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast, but I was like, yo, I kind of got some problems with Sentenced to Be a Hero. Started off great, but it's kind of been the same old, you know what I mean? Like, okay, we go to a new town, right. Suicide mission, you get overrun, it's COD zombies, somehow they make it out completely fucking unscathed. Like, you have in the writing that they can die and come back, and they just don't die, or even get hurt. And it's never really close, it's just zero, it's like, easy. Every single time. And I'm like, bro, it's kind of getting annoying. This episode changed everything, because first of all, we apparently didn't defeat the villain. Bro's still alive. He just used to double. So that's pretty sick. You know what I mean? Finally, we didn't kill a demon lord. You know, they held this the invasion off, but it was a diversion. The second capital has fallen, so finally we have a loss. It's not, again, like the same old, same old. The demon lord lived. It was a diversion. The second capital has fallen. Everyone's, like, nervous now and real scared. What's-her-face? Stevia is now a hero. That is absolutely fucking insane, and corruption is through the roof because Rhino is a fucking demon lord. Like, this is finally, like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, this is getting good because it broke that repetition. It broke that, like, pattern, and it's like, okay, yeah, I'm all for it. Season 2 is going to be peak. I cannot wait for it, and I believe it's already confirmed.
Yeah, I did see Season 2 got confirmed, but I'm with you. I kind of, like, felt like, as enjoyable as this anime was in the beginning, you know, after 10 or 11 episodes of, yeah, basically, like you said, the same kind of narrative where they're supposed to die, they never even really get hurt, they low diff all these demon lords. Like, we finally got some, you know, the demons finally got the edge on them. Now you have some major players kind of involved in the game, and it feels like, you know, like kind of like my critique with solo leveling. Like, it doesn't feel like there's any stakes because the main characters are like too OP. You know what I mean? Xylo is basically trashed everybody he's fought. So like now you have Rhino coming out as a demon lord, and like our whole objective this entire season was to like get to Spriggan and like, you know, find him, battle him, kill him, whatever the situation is. He literally stomps him out like a bug. Vicious death, and you're like, oh shit, Rhino's legit. Yeah. And like we had talked about it, I think a few weeks ago, how like we didn't really get the best vibe from him. There wasn't like a whole lot of trust. And both Xylo gets weirded out by him, and the goddess, Terrorita, she definitely like does not feel comfortable around him, which you knew that was like a red flag. So yeah, this definitely has me hyped for Season 2. I think it was a really good kind of finale to be like, yo, come back for Season 2. This anime does rock. I thought the animation was really good and consistent through the whole season. There really were no bad episodes. It was just kind of like, yeah, like you said, feeling repetitive. But this episode definitely had me like locked in for Season 2.
Bro, Season 2 is going to be awesome, especially because we're like really kind of getting into it. Because like, again, with the second capital falling, they even said like they're on the back foot now. The main capital is like, it's being threatened. You know, the kingdom is being threatened. It's like, this is like the first big win for the demons, you know what I mean? Or the demon lords. Like, that was huge. And we see how many of them are impersonating human beings, like, within higher rankings, and even in the heroes party. So it's like, yo, it's gonna be so hard to be like, oh, who can you trust, who can you not trust, you know what I mean? So I feel like Season 2 is gonna be chaotic as shit, and also not be so one-dimensional, where it's not always gonna go their way like it has been so far this season.
Yeah, and like, the, kind of like, dialogue Tivia has with her uncle before she absolutely ices Bro, which like kind of shows you she's like, she cares more about her morals than her family, and like her duty is more important than all that other stuff. But her uncle's basically like, humanity's lost, like the war's already basically over and we're cooked. We need to get like as an elite family, like a standing in the world post, you know, post human reign, I guess, like with the demons taking over now.
Yeah.
So like, kind of like you said, this corruption's running rampant because they basically already given up. Like the people in the capital who sent Xylo and all the other members of the cast basically are working with the demons. So it'll be interesting to see how that kind of plays out. And yeah, it was really sick to see that fucking scummy priest dude show up, and he was like, you know what time it is. You know when I show up, somebody's about to be made a hero.
Dude, and we also had so many lore bombs because they were also talking about like how the heroes were actually created. There's like 3 parts to it, right? How they rebuild the bodies, how they become heroes, and then I forget the other part. But it was like we kind of got like how that happens, where it's like, okay, you have to die and you're like resurrected, and like that's how you're kind of like made into a hero. It's from like the first goddess, which I thought was like really insane too. I'm like, damn, and she's the last hero. But Steven said, he's like, she only has room for one more person to like hold their memories. That's why they lose their memories every time they die, because the goddess starts to forget them. You know what I mean? So they can be brought back. So I'm like, that's so cool that she's not just the hero, but she's the last one. There's no more, which is going to be absolutely insane. And the Demon Lords have a king, so that is going to be fucking insane to get into in season 2.
It's crazy. Just like in like 2 episodes, really, 11 and 12, we got a ton of lore. I think it kind of like added a lot of depth to the world. Didn't feel so like surface level. It's like, all right, this is how they do that.
Mm-hmm.
There's obviously like a huge emphasis on this goddess, and we still haven't met the Demon King yet. So like that's a huge implication of like where this is going. But now you have like a really good sense of direction. You know, you have some like main villains, obviously with this Demon King. You know, the world government or whatever you want to call it, and Rhino.
Yeah.
Like Rhino is obviously going to be like a huge arc. I feel like,
Mm-hmm.
especially going back with you know, Xylo, like they were comrades before. He always calls him comrade.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's got me really hyped. That has like a very defined direction now. And I think kind of all the questions that we were like, wow, instead of just like fighting all the time, how about we explore this? We kind of got into. So very well done.
Bro, I think this is my little prediction. I think that the Demon Lord King, like the top guy, is gonna be like the king or something of like the people. You know what I mean? It's gonna be something like that, where it's like he's the top of the standings in both sides. I just feel like that's how it's gonna go.
That would make really good sense too, because like now we basically have seen multiple instances of these like high profile demons basically like blending in as humans. Like that's pretty common at this point. And even the chick that literally gets no diffed by Xylo, the human that is basically like betrays her kind.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's like people working with them. So this is definitely like deeper than just like them infiltrating, you know, via subversion or like changing their appearance.
And
so like there's a ton of stuff to like unpack. I think it'll be really good.
But also the prince said that there's something up with his family. Remember that, the little kid? And that's why the one guy got arrested. He's like, something's up with the family. Like they're not acting normal. So I think yeah, the Demon King infiltrated the highest of ranks in the royal family, and it's gonna be a disaster. But it should be a lot of fun. I cannot wait. I think it's gonna be really cool, and yeah, hopefully something that we keep getting each and every year, like new seasons. That'd be sick, especially with a lot of the animes that have come to an end and aren't coming back.
Dude, I know everybody going crazy about the Chainsaw Man manga like officially ending. Like a lot of these kind of like new gen animes are ending. Like, you know, it's, and like I think, you know, the pacing's good. They last a few years. It's fun. It gets a huge fandom, but like you're not gonna get those Naruto, Bleach, One Piece mangas that run for like a decade or more. So you do need good animes to replace them. Sentenced to be a Hero, To Be Hero X. I think there's been plenty that have kind of like popped up. Even Frieren. I don't know how long the manga goes. I know that's like taking a break too, but
yeah.
There's still like a lot of I guess animes and mangas out there that could like definitely fill the void and have some like, you know, pretty good potential. Sakamoto Days I think is in the top 3 for like longest shonens.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of like anime potential there. But yeah, like now that you mentioned that, you step back, Fire Force is done, JJK is like working towards its end. And I could see that like definitely getting like a movie to kind of cap off the last arc.
For JJK?
You know what I mean? So yeah, I feel like that would be the most efficient way. Yeah, definitely. Maybe that's wishful thinking. You know, and there's other stuff like Fate is always coming out with new series. We got series 2 for that. Still know about as much as I did in episode 1, but it looked fucking cool. Very like well animated, which is a given, but yeah, there's definitely like good things on the horizon. Yeah, it's like crazy. This new gen is like pretty much ending.
Dude, even the new gen is ending too, because we have Kaiju 8 that's got like what, 1 season left. Dan to Dan, which is like all over the place. They took a break because apparently Dan to Dan's gone like off the fucking rails, where people are like, yeah, this isn't it. Like you gotta take a break and fucking reevaluate and reset this shit. But also Hell's fucking Paradise. We have one more season. Since this season finally ended, I looked up, like, where does it end in the manga? Manga's got 127 chapters, I'm pretty sure. This season ended at like chapter 89, which means we are getting another 12 episode fucking season to bring this to a close, which also means, oh my god, we have so much left. Like, when you think about it, I kept thinking that there's gonna be like, alright, like 3 episodes, you know, you're gonna drop to kind of just put the little cap on, you know, call it a day, or a movie. But I'm like, we have 12 more episodes of fucking Hell's Paradise? Like, oh my god, is this gonna be awesome? Because this season was phenomenal. I thought they were gonna, like, adapt more of the chapters. I think they'll leave that 30, but I guess the fights, they were, like, pretty extended, you know what I mean? They kind of fleshed them out, which is really nice and I preferred. But I'm like, yo, I mean, 12 more eps, that's gonna be so sick, and there's so much going on, so you just know that, like, what we think now is not gonna happen. There's definitely gonna be a couple twists and turns left to, have some extra content, because, like, there's no way that you're able to, like, put a close on, like, the last few fights that we think are gonna happen in, like, 12 eps. Like, I think they're gonna make it to the mainland. I think it's gonna get pretty intense. Maybe he meets up with his wife. We can finally get, like, a lot of content with that, you know what I mean? That would be so sick. But I'm stoked, and especially when it comes to Hell's Paradise. I love how the one girl, the one Shinobi, is in love with Gabimaru. It wasn't like said, but like it's kind of inferred. When she's like, "Oh yeah, I gotta find him," and she was playing it off like, "Oh yeah, like I'm gonna become the next Gabimaru." You know what I mean? I'm gonna become the next Hollow. And then she's like, "I have to see him and bring him home." And it shows like them as kids like under the tree, and she's like in love with him. It's like, oh okay.
My boy Loki, he's a Riz master. Everybody loves Gabby Maru. The ladies love him. Nah, but I'm totally with you. Like, we had kind of talked about it a few weeks ago, where like it was like it's really hard to believe this is gonna end this season.
Mhm.
And like as you got the fights done, like you said, they were definitely more fleshed out than maybe my initial guess was without having read the manga. But I appreciate that. I think it gave a lot of depth to characters like Shion and Nuragai. Obviously, the brothers Chobe and his brother. He's got a name.
Choei and his brother.
Drawing a blank here, but I think it made us appreciate the characters more, and also the Asamans too, like
Yeah.
Lemon Man, the little blonde guy. I think he played a really cool part. So like I'm more grateful they took it this path, and like now as you're watching that final episode, the finale, you're like, oh yeah, this definitely has like a ton of content.
Yeah.
The whole battle, what happens with Rien, obviously the main cast. Do we go back to the mainland? Like there's a
They
whole stuff.
100% have to. Like that's gonna be so sick. Dude, imagine his wife gets infected. Oh my god, imagine, bro.
Yeah, like there's just so much that's like still up in the air, and like I haven't read the ending, so I don't know. But it definitely, after watching that, feels like all right, we've got like a very, very packed season ahead of us. Or like maybe they do a movie. I mean, I feel like that's easier said than done, but they are like a major staple for Mappa, so you never really know.
I mean, they have like 30 chapters left. They're definitely gonna, I think, gonna have to do like a full season.
Yeah, it feels like there's so much, and like almost any end arc or like that final, shonen-esque battle is always like pretty long and significantly drawn out. But yeah, will we get closure? Will we get, Gabby Morrow and his wife? Like, what about the other cast members? What happens with Sagiri? Obviously, Shugen. Like, there's a lot of things we don't really know what direction they're gonna go in, but yeah, super hyped, dude. Like you said, all season it was like arguably the most consistent and best anime of one of the best seasons I've ever seen.
Hands down, even with the JJK final episode, how great it was. Yuta just putting on a fucking show. You know what I mean? Like, I should have been the MC, kind of thing. He really should. Like, he's so fucking cool, and the fight was so awesome. But like, even then, I still have to say, I think Hell's Paradise was by far my absolute favorite from this season. It was so consistent. It was so good. The fights were amazing. The story was great. The animation was great. I don't know if I said that or not. But, like, just really, really good. Like, I cannot wait for the next season. Hopefully it comes soon. I think it's already been confirmed, but I don't know if there's a date yet. But, yeah, it was just so good. You know what I mean? So it just sucks to see it leave. Let us know in the comments down below if there's any animes that we should be binging, because I've been making my way through a few. Got through FMA Brotherhood, getting back on Dr. Stone, bro. I have to finish it. I stopped at the last season, so I'm like, alright, while we have this whole grace period before the next season starts, you know what I mean? I'm like, might as well get caught up on that. But I mean, dude, we've just been eating so good in each and every season. It's been absolutely insane, and the next season is no different. I mean, the animes we have coming are absolutely incredible. Again, Clash of the Elite, Wistoria, and so many more. It's gonna be awesome, but what a great season. Hell's Paradise, in my opinion, just fucking carried. It was so good. But, like, dude, remember, like, Fire Force? I mean, dude, how has Fire Force been for you, especially this ending? Because you're watching it at the perfect time, because you started watching Soul Eater, and it's cool because you got a taste of Soul Eater, like, the first couple episodes, but you haven't really gone into it. So you're able to see some, like, the references, but, like, there's still surprises waiting for you. You know what I mean?
Dude, I feel like it's really added to the, like, excitement and enjoyment of, like, these last couple chapters. When Sho, his mom, or their mom, I guess, and Shinra all use soul resonance, I'm like, oh shit, that is fire.
Yes.
And you could really start to see how it like is a prequel to Soul Eater. I think I've watched 8 episodes, so I'm either on, I think episode 8 or 9. So like you have a good gist of the series and the main characters and the art style and all that shit. But like seeing it, like, and with the end of Fire Force, I think is really like made me more excited to finish and like dive in deeper to Soul Eater. I totally forgot you don't have Wi-Fi on the plane as I was flying this weekend. So I'm like, oh,
Well,
let me watch some. Can't do that without internet. So I didn't get
yeah.
to watch as much as I would have liked to, but yeah, it's super cool. The references are awesome. And like the different style of the buildings when Shinra Bancho Man like
He
starts
literally
bringing shit
created
back.
Soul Eater right there. Like that's Soul Eater.
That was so satisfying. And not to get off topic, but like the amount of fandoms like JJK, definitely Chainsaw Man have been up in an uproar.
Hmm.
I love the kaiju ending, but like, the different opinions of how these like modern mangas have ended versus like how Fire Force is turning out. I'm like, damn, this is like a really sick but also satisfying ending.
I feel like Fire Force's ending is being carried by Soul Eater though. Like you're gonna love it way more if you're a fan of Soul Eater and if you watch Soul Eater. You know what I mean? Because then you see all the
Yeah.
references. It's like nostalgic. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my god, you're bringing this up, you're bringing that up. You know what I mean? Oh, this is that. Like it's also like so cool. Because I don't know if you know, but like Soul, like in Soul Eater, is a descendant of Sho. He has like yeah, so
Nice.
you know what I mean. So you see all those little things. You're like, dude, this is so fucking cool, and it just hypes you up. So like, I do think that Fire Force is kind of being carried by that, but like that's what makes it so cool, and also kind of like unique in that way. But you're kind of building your way up there, which is just like so cool to like see happen. So I mean, I absolutely loved it, and I love it for that reason. I think it's awesome. Little translation error, Arthur kept calling Shinra an idiot, and his sword, like Excalibur, started saying the same thing. It's actually supposed to be fool. That's where Excalibur, especially in Soul Eater, when you meet him, says fool nonstop. That's all Arthur calls Shinra. So that's why now that he
I
put a
gotcha.
soul into Excalibur, Excalibur talks like Arthur. So like that was awesome too, because you're just like, oh, dude, seeing Excalibur being born is the coolest fucking thing, especially if you already know him. You know what I mean? That's what's so cool. Like you don't meet him until like the 30s, I think maybe yeah, I think like episode like 30 something, even maybe in the 40s. It's not until like the end, and it's not like he plays a huge role. But like when you meet him, you're gonna be like, dude, this is 100% Arthur's weapon. This thing is dumb and delusional as shit. He's so fucking weird and annoying. But like that's Arthur's weapon. It's like, dude, it's so fucking cool. I can't wait to get there. But like, yeah, you'll see. There's gonna be like more Easter eggs waiting for you that like you haven't picked up on yet. It's so awesome. I think it's so cool.
Yeah, and I will agree. I think if you have watched Soul Eater, Fire Force is like a little more satisfying. But as somebody who's kind of the other way around, that makes me really appreciate the author's like ability to write like a really good yet very unique prequel to like an
Yeah.
already very successful established franchise.
Hmm.
I feel like most prequels and sequels are like very hit or miss, and more often than not, they're misses. After you've had like a successful series. So this, I feel like, makes me appreciate Fire Force a lot more.
Yeah.
Because we've had our gripes with it, like our criticisms, like we do any like anime really.
Hmm.
Um, but I quickly forgot about a lot of that stuff and was like, damn, this is really sick.
No, I completely agree. I think that it's kind of impressive because again, you talk about like how hard it is for a certain series to like end and like have a good ending, and the fact that they were able to like come to like such a good transfer. You know what I mean? Like for the people who only watched Fire Force and haven't seen Soul Eater at all, this is the perfect transition into Soul Eater. You know what I mean? Like it's right fucking
Exactly.
there because you're gonna meet Soul on episode 1. It's like, okay, that's a descendant of Show, so you're already gonna be kind of like familiar with it to a certain extent, and also like you see the town now, right? Because they created it right at the end of Fire Force. But then you're gonna meet like Black Star, you're gonna meet Death the Kid, which is a descendant of Shinra. You know what I mean? And it all kind of picks up, and you're like, oh fuck it, you know what I mean? You already have pieces of the puzzle, and it's just so fucking cool. And again, you have like certain Easter eggs that go as late as like Excalibur, like in the 30s and 40s. So it's not like you get all the little Easter eggs and similarities in the very beginning. Like you get them throughout the entire series.
Yeah, dude, I think that speaks to like how well done kind of
Mm-hmm.
both series are. So yeah, I'm super excited to get deeper into Soul Eater. Like I said, I'm only like still within the first 10 episodes, but I cannot wait to dive deeper into it. Also, the design for Bancho Man, I thought
Dude,
was really
so
badass.
good. It's so awesome. Like Shinra's actually fucking like sick. Like he's so cool.
Yeah, like dude, that design was so sick. I thought it was really well done, and like it made me like feel like the payoff for the end of the show is like, yeah, this was worth it. Fire Force was really sick, even though I wasn't like by any means a day one Fire Force fan or like watcher.
Bro, it's like so backwards though because Shinra looks like the devil, and he's like the beacon of hope. And then you have like the despair, and they look like angels. It's like, bro, why is it flipped? Like it makes no sense. It's the only thing where I'm like, what the fuck?
Dude, very interesting concept though, because I feel like it kind of speaks to like the things that humanity wants. It's very like imperfect and like they're
Hmm.
constantly worrying and complaining, versus like, yeah, this like basically demonic depiction of what hope is, or like the hero and
Yeah.
the angel. Not that show looked that way, but I don't know. I thought it was like really well done for like a shonen that at times is very like kind of basic or Tamaki-esque. You already know how we feel about that. Like there are some like pretty deep themes. You're
Yeah.
like, all right, this is actually like pretty fucking well written.
No, it was actually really good. It definitely like came full circle at the end, and like they did a really good job with the ending. You know what I mean? Like I think in the beginning of
Yeah.
the season it was kind of like it definitely had its moments. You know what I mean? It had a lot of slow and bad moments towards like as it was like ending. But like right now, as it's finally coming to like a close, like the last couple episodes have been phenomenal. I think they did a really good job with them.
Yeah, and it just kind of helps round out a phenomenal season. Like you said,
Hmm.
JJK was really sick. Fire Force, the ending's really cool, and Hell's Paradise and Sentenced to be a Hero got me super excited for these upcoming seasons.
Yeah, dude, and I can't wait. I can't wait for the next season too. It's gonna be so cool having again a lot of
Hell
those
yeah.
old series back, where it's like, all right, fuck yeah, I cannot wait. But also having premieres like Witch Hat Atelier, I think that's how you say it. Like that's gonna be amazing. That's gonna be like the new fantasy anime of like whatever. You know what I mean? It's gonna carry the genre. And when you have a good fantasy anime, I think that's like the best. You know what I mean? I always feel like that they're really solid and spot on. So that's gonna be really cool too. But like we're also getting way more premieres like upcoming. You know what I mean? I cannot wait for Smoking Behind the Grocery Store with You. Gonna be phenomenal. That is the season after though. Sadly, like what the fuck. But like we do have so many new I guess mangas that are going to be turned into animes like very very soon, and like this really is kind of like that birth of that new generation, especially with Kagurabachi coming out soon. Dude, it's gonna be amazing.
Dude, yeah. And like, yeah, exactly like you said, this next gen is really starting to like ramp up and like
Hmm.
position itself to like be as successful as like it feels weird calling it like the previous generation, but I guess it's kind of at that point now with
Yeah.
like JJK, My Hero, Fire Force, etc. So yeah, Akane Banashi is like a really super popular Shonen Jump manga that's premiering the anime this upcoming season. So there's a lot to look forward to.
The new
But like you said,
manga from FMA Brotherhood, that author, they have a new manga that's like top two right now. That's getting an anime as well, and like they're going back with Studio
right on.
Bones, and they've been waiting 10 years to like premiere this. You know what I mean? Like, well, it's been 10 years since. You know what I mean? So it's like everyone's like, "Yo, this is gonna hit." You know what I mean? Like this, they don't miss when they're together. You know, so that's gonna be insane as well.
Yeah, and like I think I'm a huge Fate fan. I think it's kind of gone a little bit more complex than I would like, but there are
Hmm.
still some like really cool like Fate Zero throwbacks with like the original Saber and like the first season of Heroes. Like that was a pretty cool finale, even though the plot itself is extremely confusing.
Yeah.
But there's just like a ton of stuff to look forward to. I feel like coming up.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I had to drop Fate because I'm like, you know, it looks pretty, but I just don't understand it. And like, everyone's like, oh, you have to watch this, this, and that. I'm like, I'm not watching like four series, you know, just to know what this one is. But if you do like Fate Strange Fake, season two's already been announced, which is pretty sick.
Yeah, I think it'll be cool. I feel like as somebody who's like kind of kept up with it, it's a lot
Hmm.
easier to digest than like having to go back, binge Babylon, watch the movie, and then watch Fate Strange Fake. Like that is a pretty massive undertaking.
Yeah.
I think I mean that's 20 some episodes of anime, a movie, and then another 12 just to like understand what's going on. And like the end of this season really just took like another huge plot twist. So unless you're a fan, it's kind of hard to like recommend. I feel like at this point, but I am hyped for that season 2, and hopefully they do flesh out Ayaka and Richard a little bit because I feel like they haven't really done shit with them.
Yeah. But, you know, speaking of though, we do have another series that is coming to an end. We are gonna be doing a video on it, but like even Golden Kamuy is finally, after all of these years, coming to an end. How devastating, bro! But finally, we get to figure out what happens with the gold. That's gonna be sick. I cannot wait to do that video.
Dude, it's so good. I think it's only got a couple episodes left, maybe, but
Mm,
really, really good season. Really intense at times. Sugimoto is the fucking man, and it's really cool seeing like him and Hijikata team up and like literally fight to the death when they were like literally trying to backstab each other,
yeah.
earlier in the show. So really, really good. I still got to catch up on a couple episodes, but Golden Kamui's been awesome this season, and it's really nice to get those payoffs. Like, you're 60 some episodes in trying to find this gold, and then they finally do, and like what happens with it and all that, extremely satisfying.
Bro, that's what's been so sad recently. It's just like binging these animes. It's been a lot of fun, but it's like, it's the end. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm watching the end now of Doctor Stone. Like, oh my god, that was such a wild ride too. You know what I mean? Like Doctor Stone's done. Fire Force is about to be done. We have what's it called? My Academia just ended. You know what I mean? Golden Kamui's now coming to an end. It's like, bruh, like, when's it gonna stop? When are we gonna be able to have animes that are as long as One Piece. Like, hopefully Gachagata's gonna be like that.
Gachagata's, she's really like slowed down the pace of the manga, which is like totally fine. But we're still not done with the current arc. Like it still hasn't reached a
The
conclusion.
problem with Gachagata is like the good thing is now backfiring, where she's very like interacting with the community, and she's realizing how much the community kind of sucks. You know what I mean? I feel like that's kind of making
Yeah.
her take a step back, where she's like, you know what? I think I need some space because yeah, the community kind of fucked that whole relationship up pretty good because they just made it like really unenjoyable at times. And she's just like, yeah, but like, she's like fighting them sometimes, where it's like, bruh, like it's my art, like fuck off, like it's kind of insane. So I feel like I don't know if those two go hand in hand, but I feel like that could be a reason why she kind of like took a step back. I was like, you know what, let me slow down a little bit.
I feel like it's always just like the default best way to go. Like, especially Akutami, you know, lobotomy Kaizen was in full effect for many months. Hakazono with Kagurabachi, um, definitely Fujimoto with Chainsaw Man. Like, there's minimal
Fujimoto
fan
has a
interaction.
bounty on his head right now.
And I guarantee you, he's just like laughing. He's probably got like his burners, and he's just like, look at like what I've done. Like the house is behind him on fire, and he's just sitting there like, so funny. And like, I fucking hate the ending. I think it was pretty awful. But regardless,
Yeah.
that aside, I think the minimal interaction they have is like, especially outside of Twitter, is like kind of important. Like they have author notes in the mangas and stuff, and like at events, but not interacting with the community on Twitter or Reddit or, you know, Instagram. I think is kind of important because yeah, there's a lot of idiots out there. There's a lot of people who have very fucking poor reading comprehension, and it's best
Yeah.
to just like remove yourself from that. And I do kind of think that's a reason why she stepped back from like, or taking breaks, I guess you
Yeah.
could say. But it's definitely slowed down the pace, and like I think it'll end up pushing back like when we get season 2. But that's neither here nor there. It's still like a really great manga and anime, and it'll keep going forward.
Bro, going back to the Fujimoto thing real quick, there's some things that are just so fucking funny. Like, I sent you the one TikTok of the one person like losing their mind, and at the end they're just in that weird voice like Fujimoto, Fujimoto, like it's like a Beetlejuice or something. Like they're doing a summoning. I saw another one though of this girl who's fucking jacked, working out, and she's like, most people work out to look good. I work out to beat the fucking shit out of Fujimoto. And in the caption, it's like, I'll kill him with my fucking bare hands with that ending. And I'm like, yo, people are
I don't even
so mad. And like, bro, it's like, because like, let's be honest. Like, if you like Chainsaw Man, you're a little, you have a couple screws loose. You know what I mean? Like, I'll admit, like, not the most sane. Fucking love Chainsaw Man. Like, he's got the worst people to piss off, and then he just loves pissing them off. Like, it's just like his like hobby. He's like, yo, let me just like see what fires I can set. He's like a little pyro. It's insane.
He's a psycho, but like I feel like that's part of the reason why his mangas are so fucking good. I don't want to like spoil anything or get into the ending, but I do think it's like very objectively bad.
Yeah.
And it's like I've seen people run these like theatrical responses of why these themes. There were hardly any fucking themes. Denji is like the most traumatized guy ever. He has a horrible fucking life. The ending sucks. Like nobody gets what they want. I don't care. Like everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but you can spin it however you want. The ending to that fucking was like a huge disappointment. And like, yeah, I feel like you're right. Like the fandom is definitely one of the less tolerant ones, less sane ones.
Yeah.
But Chainsaw Man itself is unhinged. It was a good ride, but I can definitely see why people are upset.
You know what's crazy? I love it. I love the weirdness of Chainsaw Man and of the Chainsaw Man community because I love how like he's this fucking weirdo that just loves rage baiting, and his community's weird and just has like fun with it. You know what I mean? Like I've just been dying laughing. I think it's so funny. I think him making a shitty ending is one of the only times I actually think a shitty ending's hilarious. You know what I mean? Like it's not like watching Game of Thrones or something else where you're like, oh my god, this sucks. I want to redo type of thing. I just think it's fucking hysterical. I'm like, I love how this ended. To be honest, I don't think there's another ending for Chainsaw Man. I think that sums it up when you think about it. Because, like, when has Chainsaw Man ever been, like, a sane fucking story? You know what I mean? From start to finish, it's always been like, what the fuck is going on? There's been so many arcs where, like, what is this? You know what I mean? So the fact that it ended that way, it's like, you know what? It is, like, the most Chainsaw Man ending that you could absolutely write. And everyone's response is the most appropriate response ever, and it's just so comedically funny. I absolutely love it. I can't get enough of it. It's my favorite thing.
And I think a lot of these too, like artists will get kind of tired after like 200 plus chapters, and it's like, how do I bring this to an end? Like, and sometimes you open up a lot more plot points than you can like realistically resolve.
Mm-hmm.
We've definitely seen that with quite a few, mangas, but in a way, you're definitely right. Like Berserk. I know like Miura, has passed away and like he kind of left it to his assistant.
Mm-hmm.
And he has done a very good job so far, but like I always said that him dying and like not ending the story would be the ultimate Berserk ending. Just like this open, eternal struggle that's never resolved.
Yeah.
So like it kind of does fit in the same way for Chainsaw Man.
Dude, I absolutely love it, but I'm super, super, super excited for the next season. I think it's going to be awesome. I cannot wait to get back into talking about Clash of the Elite. I cannot wait for Astoria to heat up again. I think I need to watch Astoria Season 1 again to like get caught up with everything. But anyways, hope you guys have enjoyed. Hopefully you guys aren't too sad about these season finales. They were amazing, but we have peak around the corner. Like, we're eating good each and every season. It's not, we can't get too upset, you know what I mean? But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys in the next one. Later, guys. Peace.